Hello for the soul community, I'm Jen, and welcome to the first of our series called Open Your Heart. Now, today's class is focusing on our heart brain. I know that sounds a little different because we typically think of these two organs as separate, but stick with me to find out what I mean by the heart brain as one united entity. Now, this shorter, gentle flow will move our spines and our hips and our shoulders in nourishing ways. And it also makes a fantastic warm-up to the companion class titled Heart, Brain, Soul Flow that has a bit more zip to it. So depending on your time and energy level, if you combine the two, it's about an hour-long practice. So most importantly, we will use our embodied breath-filled movement to calm our minds and open our senses to be better able to encounter our Heavenly Father in this space, in these breaths, and get an infusion of His rest and peace, body, mind, and soul. Now, as always, take care of you, personalizing and adjusting as needed. You know your body best. The props for today, a strap would be fantastic. If you have a belt, maybe a scarf, a longer scarf, and a blanket is always handy. Finally, there's a link to a playlist in the notes section if you so choose. So let's begin in constructive rest. So make your way onto your back, settling into your space. Feet are nice and wide, giving that availability for your knees to soften into one another and just begin to settle into your space. Once you arrive, go ahead and connect your palms and start giving them a little rub, building some heat between those hands. And once you feel like you have enough, depending on when you're taking this class and how cold your environment is, go ahead and cup one hand over each eye. Maybe a sigh just naturally releases out your mouth and allowing your body to kind of soften into your space a little bit more. Taking that sensory input of vision out of the equation can sometimes just really help you find a little bit deeper sense of rest. Take those finger prints and start to give a little massage to your scalp. Maybe your thumbs connect to your temples. Just giving yourself a little loving touch there. And taking those fingers to your ears, a little tugging. We have lots of pressure points in those ears, down to your earlobes. And then finding your way, fingers behind the ears, kind of at the top of the neck, behind the ears, right where it meets the skull there. And then glide down with those fingers a few times. So just feeling into that, connecting with all of these tissues down the neck. Eventually landing your hands at heart center. Take a moment to soften in, bringing your awareness to the area of your heart. Imagine your breath flowing in and out of this heart space. You might even notice a texture of your breath, maybe a temperature, the pace, the flow. Now, our heart and brain are always communicating. We often think of the heart only responding to the neural orders of the brain, but science is telling us that the heart and brain send messages to each other via the nervous system. And in fact, more messages come from the heart to the brain than the brain to the heart. And the rhythm patterns of our hearts can either be erratic and disorderly or stable and smooth. And the way that we create stable and smooth patterns is a blend of slow and smooth breathing, along with discerning of that guarding of our hearts and what we allow in and set our minds on. So today we're going to smooth out our heart rhythm patterns to create a beautiful coherence between heart and brain that leaves you feeling calm, clear-minded, and emotionally settled. Start to reach for your strap. I have a longer strap. I'm going to fold mine in half here, kind of containing that buckle. Now, bringing yourself to this bridge kind of prep position, ground through those tripods, take your strap overhead and give a tug of that strap. Maybe hands are about a little wider than shoulder width. Now, notice the ribs nice and heavy into your space. And then on your inhale, begin to take the strap overhead. On your exhale, bring it back towards your thighs. And let's just do a few of those, noticing the ribs. And as you have that little tug of the strap, you're lighting up those rotator cuff muscles there. So can you feel into that little bit of strength in that space of your body? Now, the next time that you have those arms overhead, pause, and the arms might be floating, which is totally fine. The arms might rest onto your mat and space there. We're going to start to wind up the spine. So tuck the tailbone, feel that sacrum there, then rise up one vertebra at a time into what's called this low bridge. So knees are fairly in line with the shoulders, and then lower back down the same way, one vertebra at a time. So we're just mobilizing, nourishing, bringing some movement. Let's do that again. Wind up, tailbone, one vertebra, then the next. Trying to find those details of your body, always taking it at your own pace, your own way. Now, next time that pelvis lowers, let's add these together. The arms come back up towards the thighs, and now arms lift and then wind through that spine the exact same way. Keep the arms overhead as you wind down and feeling that beautiful opening of all of those armpit muscles there. Let's do that again. Arms come back forward towards the thighs, wind up the spine, arms go overhead. Keep the arms lifted and wind down the spine. Let's do that just one more time here. Bring those arms forward and lift through and wind down the spine. Stay here. Big inhale, give a little extra tug of that strap. We're going to exhale and just peel off those shoulder blades there, feeling into your center. The chin is coming towards the chest. You have a little space there, and shaking's totally normal. So just know that. Go ahead and roll down. Let's do that a couple times. Inhale. Exhale, peel off those shoulder blades. Finding that nice, comfortable place for your neck so there's not straining or gripping there. Lower down. Let's do one more to get a little fire going and integrating that upper body and that torso together can really be pretty potent and powerful. Go ahead and lower all of the way down. Come back to that place of constructive rest. Feet widen, knees rest into one another. Maybe that hand lands back at heart, maybe one hand to belly. And take a few breaths, just even noticing that little bit of energy that we built through the body there. Coming back to that breath, flowing in and out of that heart space. Anatomists Gil Hedley says, the way we separate the heart and brain isn't actually how it works. If we drill down on the branching of the heart and its relationship to the brain, we really have a heart brain. He explains that there's this two-way back and forth, kind of a hugging, he calls it, of the heart and brain through the internal networks of vessels and nerves that create a gorgeous, complex, unified organ. It exists in mutual concert and achieves a kind of coherence in their relationship. Can you feel into this relationship, this ebbing and flowing, this hugging, this unity of your heart brain? Just for a few more breaths, this beautiful kind of interchange happening in your wonderfully created body. We're coming to what's called a sacral massage. So knees come towards the chest. You're going to take one palm to each knee. Begin to stir those thigh bones into that hip joint there. I like to think of this as almost like that old-timey joystick, right? That can move in all those different directions. And you can move them in the same direction, in the opposite direction. It's all good. Just finding those edges. You can do one at a time. See if you kind of notice anything specific, anything personal to you. And then finally, just checking in with that kind of good sensation at your low back, that kind of SI space, getting some massage and compression there. Now we're going to take this into a one-legged happy baby. I'm going to start with my left. Feel free to go with your right. We're going to lower that right leg. The left foot's going to come up towards the sky. Now, if it's available, reach for your heel here. If that feels a little far away, you have a strap. That is going to magically help your arm get a little longer here. So whatever variation is working for you today, we're going to take the heel towards the tush. Now, pull that heel towards the tush, and at the same time, you are pushing the heel away. So we're tending to that back line of the body in a really nice, sophisticated way. So inhale here as the heel comes down. Exhale as you slowly take that heel up towards the sky. We're going to take a few more of these movements, feeling into the hammy. Thank you, hammy. I love you. Everything that you do, you can give a little input there with the other hand into those tissues. Let's just two more. Let's do two more. Feeling that goodness that's happening in all of those tissues there. That energy with that lengthening is powerful stuff. Now, a half butterfly, that left foot comes inside to that inner knee, and we're gonna dip everything over to the right for a twist, coming back up through center, and then dip over, did I say left? Right. So we're kind of allowing that whole unit to come to the right, getting that twist in, and now push that left foot in towards that right knee into left foot. And that gives you a little bit more energy that rides all the way up to the hips. I can feel it a little bit more, kind of a little bit more warmth there in my hips as I give that energy into those connecting points. All right, friends, let's go to that other side. Come on up. Ground that left foot, right foot comes up. Use that strap if you could use it. Inhale here, heel to tush. Exhale, slowly begin to open up that joint there. So as you're kicking that heel down, And you're pulling it with that hand down towards your tush as you push the heel to the sky. That eccentric movement, attention to those tissues, gets in a really nice way. Okay, one more. Let's do two more. Feels like we may have done a few more on the other side. All right, now our twist. That half butterfly with the left, that right foot goes onto that inner side, and then we're dipping to the left here and then coming back center. So feeling that twist through your center and that connection with foot and inner knee. All right. Let's do 2 or 3 more. And next time that you're through center, hugging those knees into your chest and rock and roll. We're coming into hands and knees, tabletop. Widen those knees a little further than normal. From here, I want you to take your right hand back towards your left heel. Your left hand's coming up towards the front of your space. Now, inhale here. Exhale, come on forward. For this first few, hand is going to come to heart. We're coming into a one-armed kind of kneeling plank position. Left shoulder is nice and snug into its socket. You're feeling that engagement through finger mounds, fingerprints. We're going to flow back and forth. So inhale here. Exhale, hand to heart as you come forward. Let's do that just a few more times. For these last few, if you'd like to up the ante a little bit, arm can come to frame the ear. Feeling into that core, the ribs are knitted in, feeling that strength all the way through. Now, puppy pose, but side bending. So right arm crosses over left, and the tush is gonna stay a little higher up towards the sky. Feeling into that left side waist, breathing into the ribs. Let's come back center. Other side. Ground through right hand, left hand now reaches for right heel. That's your inhale. Exhale, come forward. Kind of connect into all of those strong points there, right? The ribs are knitting in. I have mounds of fingers, fingerprints engaged, and then we'll flow. So inhale here, exhale, come forward. Let's do a few. Find that flow, that rhythm, your pace, your way. If you'd like to take these last few, that left arm framing left ear, feel free. One more. All right, that side bending puppy pose here. Left hand crosses over right. Breathe into that left side waist. Center. Good. Tabletop. Tuck those toes. On your exhale, hover those knees here. Send those hips back towards your heels, nice and slow, like you're moving through molasses. Eventually taking those hips up towards the sky, finding your downward dog. Pedal it out, shift. Any kind of movements that are calling to you here. And then with intention, nice and slow, walk one foot towards your hands, then the other, making your leg a little bit more on the straighter side so you can feel that hammy work there, that length. Making your way to this really nice, relaxed,
forward fold. Maybe grab opposite elbows and sway. Now release those arms if they're connected. Ground through those tripods. Big toe mound, little toe mound, center of each heel. For this first one, we're going to round through the spine. So I want you to feel that kind of motoring from your tripods and making your way one vertebra at a time, mountain pose. Once you arrive, big inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take a moment here. Connect those thumbs to sternum, feeling the heartbeat. And tapping back into that idea of your heart, brain. That beautiful connection, that unity, that coherence. We're going to take a variation of sun salutation. Inhale, nice and big. Exhale, forward fold. Now, right leg is going to go back. Lower the knee. Use any padding that you could use. Low lunge, fingertips reach. Tailbone tucks towards the floor there. Just take another breath. Ribs are knitted in so that you find this nice balance, right? That yin yang. So we're stable and connected, but we're mobilizing at the same time. Now on your exhale, we're coming into forward fold. Use your hands if you'd like there. And making your way back to mountain. You can take a long spine or feel free to wind up like we did just a moment ago. Hands to heart. Let's go to the other side. Inhale here, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back now. Inhale, low lunge. Take just an extra breath. Tailbone down, ribs knitted in. Maybe there's a baby back bend here. On your exhale, forward fold, can you maybe lighten the use of the hands? Making your way to mountain pose. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. One breath, one movement. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg back, low lunge. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe you interlace those hands behind. And mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Other side, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back. Reach fingertips high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time through. And then we're going to wrap it up here. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Last time. Forward fold. Left leg steps back. Inhale, low lunge. Forward fold. Feel free to take those hands behind or maybe grabbing forearms there. And inhale, mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Pause, notice what's shifted. Can you feel your heartbeat? Making your way back to forward fold. Take those legs back, downward dog. Ground those knees and find your rest pose. So child's pose, puppy pose, maybe you're all the way onto your belly. Just giving yourself a moment to reconnect to your breath. You tap back into this idea of your heart brain. As followers of Christ, we know we have a human heart that beats to keep us physically alive, but we also have a spiritual heart, the core of our very being that determines our spiritual life. And the spiritual heart is thought to be a sort of control center from which all of our decisions are made. It is the place where we have our will, our attitude, our intentions, and it is the source of our thoughts, our actions, our words. And in this way, it's a heart brain as well. Proverbs 4:23 says this, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Meaning your decisions and your choices are a result of the things you choose to allow into your heart brain. Your thoughts and where you choose to set your mind. Ultimately, returning to God's presence again and again is key to guarding your heart. So with that said, we will close this practice with a breath prayer that embodies this connection with our Heavenly Father, helping us to return to His presence in a whole body way. On your next inhale, Abba Father, above all else. On your exhale, help me to guard my heart. Inhaling, Abba Father, above all else. Exhaling, help me guard my heart. Inhaling, Abba Father, above all else. Exhaling, help me guard my heart. Thank you for joining me, friends. See you soon.